Okay. Hello, our YouTube. Welcome back to our first RU recap slash predicts for the postseason of RUPL. We've just come off week 7, finishing out the regular season. We have our 4 playoff teams decided, which we will cover throughout some of our recaps, and then we'll hop into predicts. Before we get started, though, I am, the Sky12321 on PS or Ming549 on Smogon as always. And I'm joined with some beautiful casters this week who can introduce themselves. BluBird, if you want to start.
Hello, I'm BluBird. You're probably used to me by now. I was playing for the Rocky Mountain Payloaders, and I'm here to do the typical coverage of gaming. That was awful. Yeah, we can move on.
You're doing great, BluBird.
Uh,
Galvanized Square Steel, otherwise known as our one of our new TLs, Feen.
Oh yeah. Hi, I'm Feen. That's it.
Inspiring, truly inspiring. Gum.
Hi, I'm Gong. I'm managing the Guardians.
And then finally, a new face. One of our, well, the other kind of newly promoted TL, TheFranklin.
I am the Franklin, as Ming just said, co-leader and also manager of the technicians.
Cool. All right. With that being said, that's our casting crew for this week. So let's hop right into the recap section. So going into week seven,
Wait, I have a quick question. So does my name
yeah,
show up in the overlay as Galvanized Square Steel?
yeah.
Okay, let me revert. All right.
Oh
Enjoy.
my God. All right. While Fien is doing that, we can touch upon a little bit about what happened week 7. So uh, going into the week, we had, for those of you who are not familiar, our UPL playoffs is a 4-person playoff bracket style type team. Going into week 7, we had 2 teams locked in already. That would be the Noble Guardians as well as the Deranged Hustlers. So those were going to be our 1 and 2 seeds respectively. However, the bottom 2 seeds were up for a 4-man race, which just happened to be the Rocky Mountain Payloaders versus Technicians, the Crunchwrap Supreme Overload Juniors, as well as the Bulletproof Bombers. All of them had a shot at making playoffs as laid out by Gum last week. Some of y'all may remember made this very nice post kind of breaking down exactly what each team needed to make the playoffs. Um, so obviously this was all played out, and we're going to take a look at that. Really quickly, we can just mention this first series, Toxic Chains versus Iron Fisters. Both these teams were eliminated from playoff contention coming into the week. So really a lot of dead games here. An activity call from Ampha versus Rare. 2 games did happen. I did play Fiend. I won off of like memes. Crossbow played
Yeah,
Clementine, and that
huge,
was a
huge achievement. Congratulations, bro.
yeah. First win of the season. Woo! Also, the only week technically that the Iron Fisters won all season, which is kind of funny, but yeah,
Technically, yes.
Congrats.
technically.
You got a
Um,
win.
truly
we're on
congratulations.
we're on the sheet. Let's go. Yeah, I mean that's enough about that. Um, Moving
I
on.
just want to point out that your only and first win also meant that it was the only and first win of the Feasters as well. So it's
I
not
don't.
instant. Just wanted to say.
Okay, but that coming in week 7, it's a, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. Thank you, Bluebird.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was Chains Fisters. A lot of dead games, as you can kind of see. Out of We had one, two, three, four, 5 dead games out of 8. So yeah, bit of a throwaway week from both of us. It happens.
Yeah, yeah, it's the end of
But
the regular season.
moving on, we have some of the more interesting matchups. So Gum, actually, if you want to take us through a little bit about the series y'all had for the Noble Guardians versus Bulletproof Bombers, kind of like what you were thinking going into the week. I mean, you obviously knew you had playoffs locked in, but what did that mean, like trying to spoil the Bombers season, or just like how you approach the week as a whole?
I do have a question though. So, didn't Bombers needed to? Wasn't this a must-win for the Bombers?
Oh yeah. Well,
So,
let's actually look at this. So yeah, the Bombers they did need to win, right? And then depending on how much they won the week, it still was kind of in the hands of how the other series played out. But as we kind of see from the end goal, I don't even actually know what happened to the Gundren
so like
Wonder. on the
Wait,
Ashes
why
series.
is
But
why are they 3-3 then?
No,
Like,
it's because of the crunch reps. They already had too many wins, so that's
okay.
eliminated the Bombers.
oh yeah, actually
Okay.
that's a good point. So if we look at
Yeah,
this, right, Bulletproof Bombers. So if they won 5-3, um, so they needed like this is the big thing, right? The Crunchwraps lose the week
Yeah, the
big
blowout.
time, and
Yeah.
that did not happen. Uh, the Technicians Payloaders in a tie, and Crunchwraps lose 2-6, which also at that point I'm pretty sure Technicians Payloaders I think was the first series decided this week, right? That was like really we knew that early on that it was going to be 5-1. Technicians
yeah.
had clinched. Yeah. So that was that. And then obviously, they didn't happen, so they're out. So that makes sense there. But yeah, Gum, if you want to just kind of walk through a couple of these series, if you have any insight into
Um,
that.
I mean, honestly, not really, no. Like,
Okay.
because I don't think we really, like, care this week. We just kind of brought whatever we wanted to bring.
Okay.
Like, we reuse and, like, all of our brains, actually. Really used the Noivern Slowbro Bishop team to actually, like, reuse it. Didn't use week 6 and PH2. Like, we didn't really prep all that much. We just kind of let people do, like, whatever they wanted to do.
Okay. Sounds
So,
good.
yeah.
I'm trying to think back on if because I just like watched through these replays right before. Oh, actually, I do want to mention. So this was actually kind of a big week for the Noble Guardians, not in terms of the playoff picture, but in terms of a potential undefeated season for one of their Scarlet Violet slots.
Yeah.
Umbry was
I was
fighting
just
for the
gonna say.
7-0, and unfortunately, that was kind of spoiled by Scarf. So,
That
I'm
was a
fine with that.
great game. I really enjoyed those Zapdos set.
yeah,
Also, Scarf's team was like really, really nice and offensive. Like they
6-1
didn't
is, like,
like
miles better.
try to. Sorry.
Or just, like, 6-1 is, like, way better than, like, 7-0. I think
six
there's, like,
one is
just, like,
way better
one.
than 7-0. Really? Do you think Umbry
Yeah,
would agree
7-0
with you
just.
on that?
No, she doesn't agree
It's
with you.
give.
I just think it's, like, 7-0 is just, like, atrocious. It's, like, ugly to look at. There's, like, I don't know, like, sorry,
Uh,
Franklin.
It
I
also
just
it
think
also
it's
gives like a
loser,
sense of
like,
false
go
hope.
outside. That's my
that
take
sounds
on
like
it.
a huge
If
copium.
I
But
if I'm
anyways,
if I'm allowed, it also gives
No,
like
I'm just.
a sense of false hope to the future opponents of Umbri. Like they will believe that she's like human and she can make mistakes and all of that, but then just Umbri things will happen.
bro, I think
Yeah, I
at
mean,
this point everyone knows how Umbri is. So like, this is some BS right there. Anyways,
yeah, I mean, because this isn't the first time this has happened, right? Umbry has been like on the cusp of a couple undefeated seasons, I think, in RUPL, right? That have been kind of
he had an
spoiled in,
amazing record in SCL as well, if I remember correctly.
in SEL too.
Yeah, but she played UU, so but still.
Oh, I see. But yeah, but from what I was told, this is not the first time it's been like a 6-0 situation and then spoiled on the last week. So, you know, tough
Oh
one.
yeah.
But 6-1, still fantastic record. Also, got to give props to Scarf. I mean, his Gapdos set specifically, it was like a non-choice Gapdos, which to start with is not something you very commonly see. I think we have seen it before in this season, but again, definitely something little off meta. Thunderous Kick, Terra Dark knockoff, killed a Slowbro. Really cool stuff. Also, like lived a Focus Blast from a Thundy, and then also killed it with knockoff, which is very
Yeah,
cool.
that was went overtime. I really like that set. Very
Yeah,
creative.
it was a really nice
Yeah,
set.
and
I
also
wonder if
Scarf Armor Rouge as well, which you also don't really see often.
oh, true, yeah, that was a really
Was
cool
it
neat
Scarf
tech.
Rouge, right?
It was a choice scarf armor rouge with trick, trick to Salamence a choice scarf, which was
Oh yeah. That was fire.
I think Umbry
Yeah,
actually still had a chance with that Salamence, but the armor rouge came in and kind of you lock it into one move and suddenly it's not as big a threat as it maybe otherwise could be. Just really cool stuff from Scarf.
Also, Cover Cloak Fezandivity was also like a pretty good bring into his
Yeah,
team because yeah, it really had like a quote unquote chokehold on Umbri's team because at one point he only had the search from Magnet Zone to try and stop the sweep from happening, but it was too late at that point. Just good
yeah,
prep, good approach, I like it when I see people try and get like proactive on their prep versus quote unquote stronger opponents instead of relying on like teas or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Really good
we
stuff.
we've
Sounds
seen a
like
lot of
BluBird
times.
finally got a good tech.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of times throughout this tournament how sometimes people might fall back on the HO matchup. And that might be like intentional decision making from them. Like if they just want to bring HO is after all a very strong kind of style to play in RU. But it's always nice to see like when someone attempts to bring something else and they bring like very interesting text like your Thunderous Kick, Terror Dark Zapdos, your Choice Scarf, Trick Armorers. That's great for the tier, I think. At least I love to see that type of thing. So
Also, was that like a tech specifically to target Slowbro?
I have no idea.
If
Maybe.
it is, then
The
yeah,
Gyarados?
good stuff. Yeah.
Surely it must have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who else you would target with it. I mean, obviously there are others like Ridiculous and stuff, but Slowbro is the main thing in the tier, I would say.
Yeah. I think personally, just like as a rule of thumb, dark types who are like, or I'm sorry, fighting types who are like, an offensive fight type with access to knockoff, Terra Dark is a very strong option. Zapdos also just has that added utility. You have Thunderous Kick to lower defenses too. So you can,
A good typing versus Crocodile and whatnot.
yeah. And Defiant too, right? You can't, for like some of the other, maybe fighters, you just throw in like a Salamence or a Crocodile if you're feeling bold and, hope the attack debuff can carry you. You can't do that with Gyarados. So definitely an interesting pick. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Anyone else have any comments about this series? I mean, that was like the game that stood out to me at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Attribute and Mary both brought like very much known teams.
Actually, Meru had like a pretty cool team. Like it was an idea that I was planning to use like 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't make a solid team with it. Webs in like with a bunch of like strong attackers, but Attribute's team was like a bit solid versus the type of unorthodox offense
Yeah,
because
I think
once again,
I'm pretty sure both are known teams though already. I think they both of them already have been used multiple times in prior tours.
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the same team that Attribute brought versus Danox last week? Just
Yeah, he
checking.
just reused.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, then yeah, Suicune once again like stood in the way of uh all of the like the horde of offensive onslaught, but yeah, yeah, it's the same team, so good pick from both. It was actually a pretty close game because there was some RNG involved, but yeah, Attribute reigns supreme.
Cool. All right. Any other comments?
I don't think so.
All right. Beautiful. With that, we can kind of wrap up Noble Guardians versus Bulletproof Bombers then and move on to Rocky Mountain Payloaders versus Tenacious Technicians. Now,
Oh boy.
uh, this week, this is the only matchup where both teams had either were like they were in contention but had not locked in a playoff spot yet. So for me at least, I mean, this was one of the highlights of the week, and I really think some of these games were quite interesting. Franklin, you are the manager of the technician, so I'll let you have points on this if you want to talk about any games that stood out to you or just kind of what the mentality was approaching this week coming into it.
Well, we have we had two Ishtar and Pokemon that do are both were still winless, so very happy that they won their first game at such a crucial time. Um, yeah, and I think everything else just clicked for us this week, and basically, well, we have been freed after we lost that week in week 5, I think. Um, after that, we basically done better than we did before.
Yeah, good stuff.
If I
Um,
Congrats
if
on
I
Easter for finally winning one.
Yeah, congrats both PCD and
yeah,
Ishtar. I mean, Ishtar
definitely big.
specifically, I know has had a little bit of a rough season. I mean, getting stalled week one was not fun. And then, like you mentioned, Franklin had an
Yeah.
unlucky stroke. Just kind of was winless. But if there's any time to step up, I think now and the playoffs is a great a time as any to hit your stride, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
in playoffs, the tournament starts over, right?
yeah,
There are no like strong or weak records. It's everyone is back at like 0 wins and losses, and just go from there.
yeah, absolutely.
From my end, I just wanna first of all, it was a tough week. Like you can see from the result, not everyone
Hmm.
was like very much checked in, and most games like I can't even. If you ask anyone actually on our team, we can't really complain about the result. It's not like we got like too unlucky or something like that. But most games were like very outplay heavy, so I'll give props to Frank and technicians for that. Like both Tangler and Hard to Do just admitted that they got like outplayed, and I very much like respect that. I also admit that I got outplayed. It was a cool bring. I also told Frank and Quilly that it was a very cool team, but I didn't have like the tools to muscle past in the end game. Very enjoyable game though. Like I'll give that props to Quill again.
It's
Always
okay,
a
bro.
fun
Don't
game.
worry.
Yeah, I'm not worried. It's okay. 2-5 is like a very healthy record for SSRU Maynard. I'll just take the loss and move on. But yeah, generally, like I helped Tsuki and Sangler prep for SB for their games. It didn't work out. The teams were cool and all. Tsuki was especially fearing the 8-0 bring, and we saw Terraferi Suicune just doing its thing in the end game,
Yeah, I
and
mean that I
Maynard
want
did
to.
its own thing at the
Yeah,
end
I
of the
mean I
game.
want to highlight that specifically. I mean Ishtar brought a very cool team. Kind of a more offbeat HO. You have your somewhat common elements like your Cleavor leads and stuff, but you also have like Suicune and Hisui and Lilligant who came in and put in some big work. So yeah, I mean it was a very cool bring
Yeah,
from Ishtar.
it was a questionable news set. Not gonna lie, I believe it was
Yeah,
a vacuum wave shadow ball and what was the last move? A
I
psychic?
don't I don't even
Second.
know. Psychic. Okay. Yeah, I mean that was
Like
interesting. When I saw it vacuum waving into what was it? Was it Crocodile? I think that was getting vacuum waved. I was like, why are you not clicking a stronger attack?
no,
And so
no,
now it just turns out
it
you
was
just didn't have a stronger attack, which is
yeah.
I mean
I
that's
think it
kind of
was a
funny.
Magnezone, and it's funny that Magnezone actually did so much work like sponging hits throughout the game, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean generally when you
yeah.
see a Mew something like that, you have like I don't know, like Earth Power, I think is not
It's
uncommon.
like Fire Blast and Giga Drain are like also pretty common, I think.
Yeah, you see
Because it's
Mew on like
mostly sun
grassy
and
terrain,
terrain,
it'll have
right? Yeah.
yeah. So I mean definitely
Uh,
some interesting picks from Ishtar and it worked
yeah.
out. So yeah.
Congratulations as well to Goldcat for winning our only game in this week.
Yeah.
Uh, and
How
also
how how pissed
regarding
off was he?
yes.
That's great.
Jokes
Oh,
aside, for the SM game, I just want to give Haradu his flowers because he actually prepped like pretty hard. Like he made a new team, he tested a bunch. It was a pretty unorthodox bring, not gonna lie, with the Giga Drain Fortress and the Scarf Meltank. But the matchup was not great, and ODR just played almost flawlessly, so there wasn't much to do really. So yeah, that's all. That's how we're signing off our UPL this season. But I hope we'll come back stronger next season. Congrats to
oh,
technicians.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I also do want to highlight a little bit. You mentioned the Chungler PCD game. I thought it was a great game from PCD. I thought he played very well with his Noivern specifically, being very aggressive with how he was using it. There was one
Yeah, because
turn.
yeah,
There was one turn I remember. It was like Rhyperior switched into Noivern, got Dracoed. Um, and then the Noivern stayed into Draco again, which didn't kill the Rhyperior as the Rhyperior got Stealth Rocks up. And I'm like, the Noivern was a huge factor that game. So I was like, damn, that was a really like just kind of raw call out that you were not going to attack there because you lose the Noivern there. I mean, that's it's still a game, but you're definitely kind of
I
set
mean,
pretty far
yeah.
back. So
At the same time, in Sangler's mindset, if Neuburn is that big of a threat, there's no reason like to risk it there, right?
yes,
Yeah.
I
Even if Polo's
understand
not
why
great,
he clicked Stealth Rocks, and like
yeah, yeah.
it was more so
Because
PCD
you're,
just staying in and clicking Draco that second time that I was like, wow, he's really in Chungler's head
That
right
was kind of
now.
convenient play, yeah.
yeah,
I do. I'm also curious. What's that Conkeldurr set? I don't think that was Flame Orb, right?
it was playing more.
Oh, it
On
was.
PCD's
No,
end.
it
On
wasn't. It
PCD's
was
end.
No,
Lexi.
no, it was
Oh,
not Flame Mob.
Yeah, was it like Defox set?
No, it was bulky bulk up.
Oh, just
Oh,
bulk up,
Bolka.
dual stab.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
So interesting. Yeah, that's an
that's a cool
interesting
pick.
build.
Cool pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
overall,
I'm kind of questioning the Terra choice there, but anyways, because like, are you really gonna let Okidogi just revenge kill you every time? But anyways,
What do you mean?
like, Dogi just comes in and revenge kills, right? Every time.
well, with enough bulk ups,
I'll have to rewatch the game. I'm not sure.
it's Terra Steel bulk up,
It's Terra
Wukong.
Steel bulk up, right? So, like, if it was a different Terra, but then again, what could you be? It's kind of tricky. Setting
Well,
up
if
on
it's
psychics is pretty good though. So
Yeah, you set
yeah,
up psychics and
and
Serendipity as well. So
and
yeah, yeah,
scouts the
yeah.
card board and all of that. Also, if Okidogi is like choiced, it also gives a potential free sub because I'm guessing it's a sub Basque Legion. So I guess
Uh,
it kinda flows together well with the rest of the team.
right.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It might be a Scar Basque Legion. I know Franklin loves that set.
it was indeed Squad Best Legion. I think.
ah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay, it's okay.
But I think with Terra Steel, like you don't have to review it right away. Like Okidoki is not gonna switch into you at first,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
by the
yeah.
time you're +2, it's already kind of too late.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I just wanted to give PCD his flowers in that game. Same with Ishtar,
Yeah.
and then Technicians as a whole. We'll recap like after we've gone through everything about like how exactly this played out. But I mean, the TLDR is Technicians with this win also qualified, and then in this last series, the Crunchwrap Supreme Overlords with a tie have also made playoffs. So yeah, let's talk about this.
Um, can I give some closing words regarding the
Sure, go ahead.
yeah. I just wanna highlight and just shout out the rest of the team because it was like a really fun season. Like regardless of results and whatnot, it was I met a lot of like cool people, and I'm really happy that even though we were down like we're actually winless in the week at some point like 04 or 03 or something. Not a single one like got you know really worried or anything like that. We didn't let the pressure just get to us. Even though we lost, we actually had our like heads high. That was a
Yeah,
pretty cool because it was a first tour for Sangler and Tsuki, so I really liked seeing that, the enthusiasm and
Yeah,
the good
maybe do
good
a
spirits.
you know,
Sorry?
yeah,
Yeah, me too.
maybe
I
do a
also
shout
think
out.
it's like really cool that like even despite it being a must win or must tie week for you, that's like you still put in the new
Yeah,
guys and not
mhm.
the experienced guys. I was a bit surprised by it, but I really liked that decision to be honest, even though it didn't
I mean it's fair,
pay
but
off.
like full disclosure, like Tsuki and Sangler did carry us throughout the season with teams and tests and even wins, and some really important wins as well. So in my head, I'm not the manager. I wasn't making the calls or anything like that. But in my head, it's like only fair to just trust them. When the ball is hot. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then it's still okay, right? Just a tournament at the end of the day.
yeah.
And that would be all.
All right, cool. Well, great season of the payloaders, and congratulations, Technicians. Um,
Yep.
Then finally, we have Crunchwrap Supreme Overlord Juniors, Deranged Hustlers. Um, I can say, like, pretty convincingly that this series was a little bit more even than I thought it would be, considering the Hustlers' lineups.
Already
But
done. Yeah.
I did not
Yeah, I
expect a
think it's
tie.
impressive that like
Yeah.
to manage to tie with that lineup.
I mean, if you look at some
No
of
offense, just
their No, like I'm in the same boat, right? I mean, we mentioned this last week in recaps where the Hustlers
yeah.
had tried a completely new lineup. I think every slot is someone different from like what they had before, and they pulling
Yep.
out a tie versus the Crunchwrap Supremes who came out with their top lineup. This is the lineup that got them to like the was it 3 seed coming into this week, 1 seed, something like I think it was the 3 seed
I think they
actually.
were third.
Yeah, I think they were the third. So this is like the third strongest lineup and tying with like your I don't want to call it the B team, but essentially people who are just not who we haven't seen throughout the tournament. I thought that was very impressive. So yeah, shout outs to that.
That's
Um,
just good managing, I believe.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
because if they were like in touch with the rest of the team and the rest of the tournament, then it would feel like natural to just be able to swap in and just keep the ball rolling from where the other guys left it off.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Crazy that Beraldo became the like
Okay, let's
became.
not say that name.
Right?
yeah. I mean, I will also be completely honest. I didn't manage to catch a lot of these games, so I don't really have too much to say about it. I think I saw HJK versus Metallica's game. That was kind of funny. HJK brought Sun and had Scovillain, and
Oh
Scovillain
yeah,
came
Sun
in.
won. That was a funny game.
And he just clicked buttons. I mean, that was hilarious, man. Um, I think did Scovillain like overheat a bike and it like died or something? That was like crazy, bro. I don't remember exactly what happened. It was something along those lines. It was a very funny game.
There was also a Sableye. Like that was the biggest surprise to me. Like, what is that guy doing there?
Yeah, Tableau. Look at that. Okay, I don't. It doesn't sound like a lot of people have a ton to say about this set. I mean,
No,
it's
I
not.
mean,
It's not like. I was just looking at the game, honestly.
sure.
But yeah. I want to say like SS game, Fogbound bounced back after a shaky week versus Quilly because of the stall ring. But he bounced back. He brought a solid team. Oyster brought like a really cool offensive team with Reggie Drago, and I really like seeing it. But Fogbound had like the pieces necessary to just stomach the hits needed, and the Reggie Drago didn't end up doing too much versus Steelix and Togekis.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a pretty close game still, but I think it was like just by the virtue of matchup alone, Fogbound was like very ahead at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I need to check this.
yeah, I
Oh,
think it was
Pogba actually didn't bring stall. Wow, and he won. That's
yeah,
impressive.
I think
Nice.
the beware was huge for Fogbound because that's kind of stopped the Reggie from going ham.
Reggie, I believe its last move should have been Thunderfang,
It
maybe.
should it should be, yeah. That's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. I was kind of curious, honestly, like seeing Weezing on this team because I thought it would like it felt a bit weird. Like it was pretty offensive at first glance, but it felt pretty weird, as a mix of bulky pivots and really offensive threats. In practice, it looked like it worked out a bit, but Pogba's team had more longevity, just managed to stay alive longer than Oysters. That makes sense. Anyone else? Anything? SV Gaming. Sand won again.
I love SS. My favorite champ.
Also, I cursed LPZ last week when I said that I've never seen him like lose when I'm just binging some games in Nestor's, but Mansmith pulled Supreme.
Yeah. And that.
Honestly, I thought men's would lose. Just because, like, I don't know. They're just like the vibes I was getting.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He's a strong player as well. Like, no doubt about that.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
mean, Mansmeet won the SV game, but did he really win the SV game? Though I think I would argue that LPC also won the SV game.
Oh, LPC definitely won the SV game. Like, if we're being real here,
Definitely
Papagayo. How many kills did
4 kills.
Papagayo get?
Oh,
Four
Okay,
yeah,
hold
kills.
on,
true.
hold on, hold on. I
True.
don't
Four
know how
Four
kills.
kills.
the
Bro,
game.
come on.
Let me
This
check.
might as well. This might as well have been a 5-3. If I'm being honest, like 4 kills. Come on. That was crazy, man.
Jeez, did that crit matter on Palosan? Surely did, right?
That's a Palisand,
Wait,
bro.
Papagayo got
Probably.
a one shot on Palosan. That's so
It
funny.
crit a Palisand and killed it from full. Insane gaming. I was talking to LPZ about this yesterday, and he told me to watch his SV. This was one of the sets I couldn't catch live, but he told me to watch the SV game specifically, so I did. And boy, I did not expect Papagayo to go ballistic. That was crazy,
Also,
man.
incredible how the Papagayo was actually shown, but it wasn't nicknamed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the nickname
That
is
felt
the
like such
debuff.
a waste, right?
Wait, why would you Terra his Among Us?
versus what's it called? Versus Volcanion.
Now he loses to Thunderous.
Yeah, and Slitherwing.
Yeah, such
ZG
as like,
like I
listen, it
yeah.
didn't. Mesme did win that game, right? But did he? No. The moral victory goes to LPZ. Moral victory
The
to
real winner,
LPZ.
the real winner of this game were actually the spectators. So
Yep,
good
yep,
on all of
yep,
you
yep, yep. I wish I could have watched this live. That would have been crazy. I would have been going insane.
guys.
But yeah, I mean, with that, 4-4, Crunchwrap Supremes versus Hustlers, and then that with the tie, the Hustlers do secure the last spot in the playoffs. So
Also, I believe this is
yeah,
like record time for our recaps this season.
Yeah, exactly. Congrats, everyone.
Wow, go team! Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, just a quick overview too. Again, I'll reference this again for the kind of playoff picture. What happened? Hustlers, Guardians, they were already in. Crunchwrap Supremes, they get in with a winner tie. Tied, obviously it happened. Technicians, they also got in with a win, won the week, and yeah, good stuff.
I think
Congratulations
these were the
to
teams we predicted to get in playoffs, like
yes. See, I don't. Oh
Crunchwraps
my
and
god,
Technicians.
I don't have the graphic on me right now. But
Oh my god.
Expulso in the RU Discord, he did post earlier what the PRs were at the beginning of the RUPL season. And the top four actually are the top four that qualify for playoffs. Not in the exact
Oh, wow.
order, the exact seeding, but the teams themselves are the same.
That's pretty
That's
crazy.
that's
That's
Yeah.
just
pretty
good enough,
rare.
man. Stupid power rankings don't matter anyways. But anyways, yeah, sure.
But they did matter here, right?
I think
No,
it's
they
funny
did
that
I
not
mean,
people
matter.
complain
they
Okay,
about
really
that.
were quite accurate. I mean,
this
they
was
had
completely
Fisters
fine.
at the bottom, which RIP, but we did end up last. The top four were the like playoff teams. The middle of the pack, I don't know how accurate that was, but yeah, top end, bottom end, they got it pretty well.
It's fucking dropping bombs in the chat.
But I think it's funny that people were like complaining about power rankings when they came out, and then like they ended up being like pretty accurate.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's not always the case though.
yeah. I
Yeah,
also
Congrats
think
to
I
it's
those
mean,
silly
guys
to
who
get mad over power rankings. Like they're supposed to be there for fun.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, for sure. And this one
Well,
time, they just
just for
happened
fun.
to be quite accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The only time, yeah.
yeah. So that is
They're
that.
Yes,
also quite
actually.
wrong about like, certain individual power rankings and stuff like that. Mace. Anyways. So
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Mace. Um, but it happens. Also, wait, Franklin. I think we kind of glossed over this before. Did you also end with an undefeated season in the best of three slot?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
I
We
love
have a
how just
7-0 right
he
there.
had a 10% chance to stay undefeated, and he got it.
Franklin, Franklin, congrats on the undefeated like run, but I just want you to know that Gam thinks that it's lame.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
7-0 is
But
overrated.
okay,
Yep.
7-0 is
that's
overrated. Much rather be 6-1. That is
like
so much better,
honestly
right?
not even. I think 5-2 is the best record you can have.
Thanks.
Like
Really?
5-2
Thanks.
is just like
5-2?
it looks, yeah, it just makes sense. It's like super good to look at, you know? It's like aesthetic.
No,
6-1
I
is like it's
What
I would
about
fine.
say
Suez
this is
7-2
though?
though.
some this is
7-2
some
is better.
extreme level of copium, but whatever.
What
It's not
about
even okay,
Suez?
no, it's really just about
What do
like
we think?
it just makes sense, you know?
Okay,
It's
what about this?
pretty.
What about this, Gum? How does 9-0 sound? Is 9-0 any better? Because that is, at this point, the record Franklin could stay at.
I mean, I feel like at that point you should just hope for like a tiebreaker so you can go 10-0.
Oh,
It's
you
like,
go for the
you know,
10? Yeah.
yeah.
That could be kind of hot. Who knows?
What do we think?
Oh,
What do we
actually, I don't
think
even
of
know how
going
playoff
five
tiebreakers would
though?
work. Would best of three even be included in the tiebreaker slot? Or
No.
No.
okay,
But like
I
you
mean,
just put Franklin in anyway for sure.
yeah.
look at
Okay.
us
With that being said,
already stipulating tie breaks.
actually, yeah, that is actually kind of good transition into the next portion, which are our predictions for the semifinals. But before we move on, any final comments on the regular season, on any of these sets, or again, just like the regular season as a whole?
The only comment I have is that everyone wished for Feen to lose versus you, and it happened. So I'm more than happy. I'll take
You
next time
Okay.
in
paid for this, and
playoffs.
it happened, huh?
Yeah. All right. Cool. Good
Well,
stuff.
I wanted to use the memes, so it does. That's not canon game, okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
keep telling
That's not.
yourself that.
I do
It's
have a
not
question
not
about that
supposed
actually.
to be.
What was the gator supposed to block?
So the plan was I trick the choice scarf, and then I use fairy lock on Klefki. So ideally they'd be locked into earthquake. Then I go to Gator and click block because they can switch out, and then I just DD to max.
Ah, I see. So it was Terrafly then. Oh, no, it was Balloon. It was Balloon.
No, I was
Yeah.
Terra Ghost with Balloon, so even
Yeah,
like fighting
yeah.
types as well. And
I see.
fairy lock
That's
prevents
funny.
them from switching next
Yeah,
turn.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I see. I see.
but I forgot that dark types are immune.
That Prankster doesn't work on dark types. 3 generations, by the way. This is the third
So
generation that has been a mechanic.
That is our peer leader,
oh
by the
no
way.
no no. So basically, I was like, wait, I lock Crocodile, and then I realized, wait, I don't. So I asked
Yeah, wait,
Upset
actually,
and
that doesn't even work on Crocodile, too. Yeah, we mentioned this, too. It's a
okay, okay,
ground type
hold
that
on,
you
hold
want to
on. So I
lock, and
asked
it
a
doesn't
friend who
work.
actually built this set, like this tech. I'm like, how do you deal with Crocodile? He's like, oh, you don't. You just run enough speed to outspeed Wild Scarf and Dazzling Gleam it. And I had foul play. So, if it was Dazzling Gleam, I would have beaten the Crawdon. So that was just tragedy all over.
Yeah, that was quite funny. But,
In my
okay.
defense, I was in the airport.
Yeah, he was flying back from a
Count the
conference, so
excuses. Here come the excuses.
can't have too much heat. But,
Valid excuses are legit.
with that being said, let's get on to semifinals. Um, we'll do this the same thing we kind of did last week, or where we'll kind of walk through this and kind of give some predictions for each set. Uh, but yeah, I mean, semifinals here, you see the seating. So we have During Tusslers versus Crunchwrap Supreme Overlord Juniors, as well as Guardians versus Technicians. Very hype on both ends. BluBird Feen as kind of two people from outside the playoff picture now. I mean, like, what are you
Wow,
looking
so good,
in
man.
terms of
Yeah,
your like highlight matchups? Who are you excited for?
like you are in the playoffs picture. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of it too. I'll give my thoughts too, but I'm also doing this.
okay, so jokes aside, I think it's like a pretty hype. Like both series that look like pretty dramatically, close. In terms of who wins or who loses. But that should always be the case in playoffs, right? Uh, who do you want to start with? Hustlers or
Just let's just start chronologically. So
Yeah, I mean, we'll just go Hustlers, Contract Supremes, and I mean, Gum and Franklin too. You two are actually playing each other, so this is perfect. Y'all
Right.
don't really have a horse in this race, so I mean, like, what do y'all
uh,
think too, right? I mean,
I think it's interesting. Like this is like the second matchup. This second week we see this matchup happen, but like this time it's with like the real Hustlers lineup.
yeah,
yeah,
Because
this
I think I
is
would favor
exactly a back to
Hustlers.
back. Yeah, you're right. Actually, this is the
Yeah,
back to back matchup.
I would favor Hustler just because like payload, not payloaders, crunch apps kind of like struggled against Hustlers, like not using like their real lineup. And I think that the real Hustlers lineup is like a bit scarier.
yeah, I agree with that.
I didn't
yeah.
even
Like
So
even
realize
like
so
they played
the
back to back. That
so
makes.
here's
I think that's actually a really smart decision from the Hustlers then to mix everything up last week, so that you
yeah.
don't have
So
the back to back play for the
yeah, yeah.
same players. Because that's
We're
always
seeing
very annoying.
we're
Yeah,
seeing
I
a
mean,
bit
at
of the
this point,
the lineup in Auras as well.
after the entire regular season. So all of these teams have obviously at this point played each other before at least one time. And I think y'all bring up a fantastic point. In the case of the Crunchwraps versus Hustlers, um, the Hustlers kind of see what the Crunchwraps are bringing to the table, whereas maybe the Crunchwraps are still a little bit I don't want to say in the dark because there are 6 other weeks of the regular season, but in terms of this specific matchup, maybe a little unfamiliar with what the Hustlers would be bringing to the table uh, when it comes to actually playing for a playoff scenario. So yeah,
Mm.
very good stuff. I think I probably would favor the Hustlers too. Yeah,
Can I just start off by saying that Lime versus HJK is definitely like the highlight matchup of the playoffs so far, in my opinion.
sure. I mean, we could actually just
Yeah,
hop into
this is a
this right
super
away.
fun match because Lime excels in using grassy terrain cheese while HJK is a staller. So are we
Nah,
gonna
nah,
get
nah,
grassy
nah. I
terrain
think
versus
you're
stall?
overlooking. I think you're overlooking Alchemy Gaming. From
Oh no, no.
No, I
Yeah,
think
the
in
alpha the
general,
and he's actually like pretty
HAKHJ has
excited.
been bringing all kinds of stuff. To be honest, this
Yeah,
tour. in SV.
Yeah, I think HJK really as one of the kind of quote unquote newer names into the RU tournament like RUPL scene because I think this is his first RUPL, right? At least as a like dedicated starter, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
someone can fact
Yeah.
check me on that, but
I
yeah,
don't know, but I believe.
yeah. I mean, just the fact I think he came in definitely with that reputation around him of oh he plays stall, he is known for playing stall with like warranted reason. He brought it a lot in RULT. In the classics playoffs, we saw him stall in like various different generations, ORAS,
Yeah.
SM,
SS.
SS. Like it. He had the reputation of being a kind of one of those stall lords, but in this tournament, I really
But
think
it's
we've
for
seen him
good
come out
reason.
of that,
It's for good reason, right?
like stereotype. He's played everything. So
He's piloting stall very well. So, and he also brings
Yeah.
like decently good stalls. Because obviously like power creep doesn't enable the playstyle as much as he'd like. He has like so many good tools that he uses and so many unique ways just show off the archetype, and I really respect him for that. But I
yeah,
just wanted to say that line versus CJ, I just pity whoever tries to prep for each other. Like prepping for
Yeah.
this scout must be like unfathomable like headache, right?
It's a super pain. Like for example,
Yeah.
last week in like another tournament, which is BLT, I faced Lime, and we were like, okay, what do we do? Because you have no idea whether he's gonna cheese or not, right? So I decided, hey, screw it, I'll cheese him. So I brought Psychic Terrain.
And
But
these types of matchups always work in favor of the quote unquote, unorthodox player, you know, because they have
yeah,
all the power in the prep. But this time, both of these players are like using unorthodox teams and styles, right? It's gonna be like a
it's
wild ride.
very tricky. Yeah, it's
It
very
yeah. So
really is for
tricky.
actually,
you.
speaking of that, let's start actually like putting down some predictions then. So Lime HJK, right? Who would you say you would bold if in this
I would
matchup?
also bold AZK. He's really
Okay.
like impressed me throughout
As
the time
a
I've seen
as
him
a
play.
player, in terms of like pure playing skill ability, I would rate HJK higher.
Okay.
However, I should point out that this is not saying that Lime only excels because of the wild
No,
play
no,
he
no.
has
He's a
things.
really good player and
Far
one of
from
the
it,
most
yeah.
improved players. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it feels like
Absolutely.
Ezek is like on a hot roll right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the onus is a little bit more online to out prep in the build-up, but I think for HEK it's a little bit easier to prep against Lime than the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. Do you have any do you want to like go against the grain, go for Lime, HGK? How are you feeling?
So we'll just build HJK because like I think like his builds are like way more versatile. Like I think he can just like a bit more comfortable with bringing like I don't know like off meta stuff or like very different things. Like I think almost every week he's brought something like very unique. While I think
Yeah.
Lime is like more of like a one trick pony and what like he's like comfortable with.
Well,
I
Lime
Yeah.
has
agree.
like kind of mastered the let's say the art of grass terrain ASO, and if he does bring it, then it might be something new. It might be like
Yeah,
similar, like the same playstyle, but just good threats that get a good matchup versus whatever
Yeah,
Ezeki
but
is
it's
trying
like
to
you
pull.
can I don't know. You can only do so much and I think also HJK has like already like played around with grassy terrain and like he already has like brought like way more off meta stuff. It's
yeah.
like I wouldn't really consider him like the type of person who can like catch off guard with something off meta.
I wouldn't call Lime
Yeah,
a one
maybe.
trick pony, but I do indeed think that HAK is like has brought way more diverse stuff. So I really think
How
it's on Lime to bring something surprising this week.
Yeah, I agree.
how many of you are predicting the dip install?
I
No,
Um,
don't think
not
that's
this
coming.
again.
Like I really think it's quite low.
Um,
Um
one more thing to add. I feel like Lime is again he mastered the art of grassy terrain cheese, but if you bring something that's not grassy terrain, something more standard, as a player, I would rate him lower than HJK.
yeah, I
okay.
agree with that too. I think HJK just has like a lot more experience.
Like every time I face Lime, I'm like, okay, if he cheeses, he might have a matchup, but if he brings anything other than cheese, I can outplay him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
So
think
it's
Lime is like still like a good player.
yeah.
And
It's
he's had
up to
like a
line
very
because
good season, I think. Like I think he's 5-0.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that is that ugly gum or is it passable?
Um, I mean, I guess.
It's
I
divisible by
guess.
chance.
I mean, he can still go 5-2, right?
Nice.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can.
that's the
He
spirit. That's the
could,
spirit.
yeah. 5-2 is
And the
still in
thing
the
is, like,
air.
you don't want your losses to be in playoffs. You want like your losses to be in the regular season.
I mean,
Like at this point,
I think he's 4-0 actually. So 5-2
oh,
does needs for him to be in the tiebreak, but definitely still possible.
Nice.
right.
All right.
Nice.
Next up, we have LPZ versus Kush, the chef himself. How are we? What do we think? What do we think?
Pointless
I,
matchup again.
I already had a test game with Kush, and I know this man is cooking. So
That's his
I
name, like that's his
So can I assume
reputation.
that means you would be in Kush's camp? You would go for the bold?
yeah, I'll go for Kush.
I would too. I
That's
think
great.
LPZ hasn't had like a great season either. Like especially compared to Kush.
LPZ is also like not gonna like it might sound rude, but he is kind of a choker. Like he goes really far in tournaments and then chokes. So, but again, not none on him. He's an excellent player. I think
Sure.
Kush is just a better player.
Sure. Yeah,
And
I
a
mean,
good
I will say this now, like regardless of whoever we bold, like they're in the playoffs for a reason. Everyone here has kind of proven themselves as part of their teams as being like a winning organization. So regardless of who we pick, it's never personal, right?
Yeah,
It's
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
We're also
I
trying.
think I would also pick Kush, but that's more so because of his that Kush is cooking than that LPC.
yeah.
Yeah, anything
No, if
about
anything,
LPC.
if anything, I'd say that if there was one reason to like bold LPZ is that because I don't know, I'm not in his mind, but I'd say that if I were him, I'd be like more, let's say, hungry, you know, to get to get more stuff for me for my team, because it's a strong matchup. It's a tough opponent, right?
Yeah.
And
No, I would definitely not count him out. I think this matchup is very close, like 45-55, something like
because
that.
I feel like LPZ has like a lot more to prove than Kusulis does. Therefore, like he should really try hard. I feel like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope he's not playing 20 something games per week,
yeah,
but
like you're one to talk. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth noting that like hustlers have been like very ahead of the meta too. So it's like even if I would build Kush, I wouldn't like be surprised if LPZ just brought something that like farmed him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say. Okay, so
Cool.
next up,
Yeah,
Thiago.
Thiago Nunez versus Avarice. How are we
My
feeling?
goat. My goat. I'm bolding Thiago mainly because he has such a wild instinct in game, like, and on the builder too. Like, he can bring close to everything, and I'm really like a really big fan of his style in general. You know, like
Thiago
he
is
likes to push offensive threats, like shove them up
yeah.
your throat, and you can't really like prepare easily for him. He
Thiago, I
loves
feel
that
like
gear.
when he's not trolling, he's excellent.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Takes it
I
Thiago
think
seriously.
at this
gosto
point, I don't think
almost
he'll be trolling.
every papagaio.
Yeah.
Please
Wait,
no,
who
that's
is
not
that? Who is that?
Papagayo.
Is that Ampa?
That's
Ampa, is
Ampa.
that
That
you?
is
Yeah,
Ampa.
but
That is
Okay.
Ampa.
That's Ampa. Yeah,
I'd bold Thiago here, honestly.
yeah. I'd bowl Thiago as well,
I
fellow
would also
Brazilian.
vote Thiago.
As an honorary Brazilian, I have to bowl Thiago there.
Cool. Gum,
One thing I
Franklin,
do not.
any input?
Yeah, I mean, I would build him too, just because like I think that SV slot for franchise is like actually 07.
Oh, is it? They're winless
Yeah,
That's
in that
interesting.
it is.
SB3 slot?
I mean,
Oh,
I
I
don't
did
think
not.
that's not exactly, but like they play with like Hellam and then like Olive Branch, and now it's Avery's, and it's
Oh,
like
that's
I
okay.
mean,
See,
it's
that's
undefeated,
interesting.
but on like 0 wins.
That's
it makes
interesting.
sense, and it is important when you look at it from the lens of like predictions and whatnot. Like from our spot, you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's much easier to bold Thiago over the '07 slot. No offense, obviously, to the Cranstrap Supreme Overlord Juniors or Avarice, of course.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
moving on.
Yeah, Sword Shield Gaming. Metallica versus Fogbound.
Oh my God. Also, I wanted to point out about the playoffs in the SS gaming. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the four players involved in playoffs are the actual four players with the best records in this season, right?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was true.
Like Attribute has the best record, if I recall, in SS this season, then followed by Quilly, and then Metallica or Fogbound. I don't really
Yeah.
remember the numbers, but last week Metallica was 4-2, so he should be 4-3 now. But I
Let
can't
me check.
remember Fogbound's record. Not that records matter too much
Bookband
in
is
playoffs.
3-3 actually.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
tied for fourth place of
yeah.
best record.
Here. Uh,
But like Fogbound went from 0-3, well,
Yeah, he had a great bounce.
0-2 to 3-3. So
Yeah, he had a great bounce back mid-season. Even though two of it was Wistall, but it's nothing to be frowned upon. As we said with the ZK, like if he can pilot the thing, he can definitely like slash he should even bring it if he thinks it's a good matchup. But Metallica, I'm a big believer. I say it like every week. I'm a big believer in Metallica. He's like a huge tryhard, and now especially that we're in playoffs, I don't think
yeah,
he'll leave anything up to chance. He'll bring his
I agree
breakers.
with
He'll
that.
bring his. I'm expecting this to be a bulky offense versus bulky offense matchup, and I will favor Metallica more, mainly due to
More
familiarity with the tier.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
that's a pretty even
Uh,
matchup if you exclude that.
how many of you think that Fogbound is gonna stall again?
No, no way. Although,
That's exactly what he wants you to
No,
think, though.
I don't think he will. But
Right.
as the hustlers, you definitely have to be prepared for it. If not, you're
Yeah, I
just
yeah,
agree.
it's
throwing.
also in part
Yeah.
of what the managers think, right? Because I'm not sure if he builds with the tier. If he does, then that's a more point for me. But if he doesn't, then it's really up to the managers as well, because Metallica brings really offensive teams most of the time, or bulky offenses with the good ones, right? And these teams don't like particularly have a good chance with longevity. So if that's something to strike in their mind, then yeah, it's probable.
Hmm.
So are we feeling
But
more
yeah,
like Metallica, leaning towards more that direction, just in terms of like
Yes.
yeah,
experience, maybe
Yeah,
prep
I would go
wise?
Metallica.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
nice. Look at
All right,
me
moving
go.
on then. We have Sun Moon Gaming, Santu versus Denial. This is one of my
Oh,
highlights personally. I mean, I
yeah,
think this is going to be a
definitely.
fantastic game.
I want to say that even though I admire like Denial in the tier, like I really like when I see Denial's games, I'm call it bias a bit, but I'm never like bowling against Santu. Like that guy is so good in game, right?
Yeah, I would agree
But
with that because it's like also like so far into the season now. It's like the Nile doesn't even have, I don't know, like the advantage of like knowing the tier better because Sento is like used to it now and he's been doing
yeah,
super well.
one thing I don't know is if Santu is actually building or if he's getting like
I
new
don't think
teams.
so.
I don't know if he's
I don't think
recycling.
so.
I'm not sure if he's recycling or not because I know that Denial, if they recycle, then it's gonna be like well thought out, right?
Yeah.
And if we don't see a recycled team, then it's gonna be something new and fresh that is gonna be targeted specific towards Santu.
I mean, Sancho as a player, he likes bulky teams.
Yeah,
So
he really fancies that.
I'm expecting an offensive bring from Denial.
Yeah, I think Sento has like the most explodable scout just because I think he's actually just reused every week, like known teams. And I think
Yeah.
Denial can like take advantage of that in the builder. But
Also,
still, I think Sento can like maybe like outplay like even like a slightly bad matchup.
one thing I wanted to ask is actually because at the start of the season, when we were doing recaps, we were actually pretty skeptical about Hustler's SM slot,
Yes.
especially like
I think that just as a player, Santu has stepped up.
yeah, I just
And
don't.
that's not an
I
issue
wanted
anymore.
to know like in case of like of support because that was like the question we had at the start because they don't have like many builders in. How did like the SM slot do all tour? Because I know
Well,
they switched players
The
up.
the Hustlers SM slot or
Yeah.
in general?
I think they did well. Let me check out here.
Because I remember the Santu
Yeah,
wasn't always playing SM this season.
they're 5-2, but I think it's mainly with Santu. It's mainly about his mental. Like I think if he was like he started losing in the beginning, and I kind of expect him to
Santu is 5-2.
yeah
Yeah,
to
five
not
two.
That's a pretty record.
to
That's
not
chef's
really
kiss.
give him a
Okay,
lot of
so
attention to the tournament anymore. But I think he actually does. So that's good on the Hustlers.
Yeah.
Like I think the team environment really is important there because like I could very much see him just not caring anymore and just load whatever and then lose. But obviously not the case.
yeah, no, I think definitely, especially now. If we're talking like from a mental point of view, just making the semifinals, making playoffs is definitely a big buff for Santu in terms of like taking this seriously, maybe devoting a little more time than otherwise he might have.
Yeah, no,
Um,
of course. But like Sento is a really good player and he has a
mhm.
lot of like the invitational that he had like what is it 4 or
Yeah,
5
absolutely.
years
I mean,
ago.
his
He won
resume is
that,
not to
so
be questioned, right?
yeah.
So very strong player. I'm probably in a similar camp to a lot of people here. I think Denial has really gotten a lot of mileage out of like surprise factors, bringing interesting text, bringing just kind of things that are a little bit off key from maybe typical Sun Moon meta, right? And Santu meanwhile has just had just like a really solid season. I mean, I can't really point to any part of his game which has been like particularly weak, I would say. Neither can I with Denial, but I definitely think Santu's just kind of consistency has been one of his strong parts.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel
I
like
think it's
super off,
yeah.
super down. You
I
know.
think this actually might be a little bit of a spicy matchup now, thinking about the invitational, but it's a completely different story. We'll see.
Yeah. So I'm having a hard. I think I would bold Denial here if I'm being like just personally. I do enjoy like as a builder myself in Scarlet Violet, albeit, but I think having kind of that it factor, that surprise factor, it does go for a long way if in close matchups like these. Sometimes you
Yeah.
need the tech. So I think I would go
Yeah,
Denial, but
The
I don't know
yeah,
how would
same.
y'all how are y'all feeling? So
I'm
Feen,
on Denial side as well.
okay. I mean Gum, BluBird, Frank, how are we feeling Denial Stance too? What's to look
I
at?
was I
I'm
was
full
I'll give
Santu.
a slight edge to Santu.
I
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
same. I bolted Santu first as well.
okay. So I think
Yeah.
that's three
Three
three.
versus no, I think Finn bolted Santu as well, right?
No, I bowled denial.
Oh wow, okay.
So we
Hey,
tied.
hey.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, I have to make
There
a
you go.
decision.
That's the first
So
tiebreak. That's the first tiebreaker.
okay, but that's so lame, bro. How can we? No, that is so lame. That is bolding the verses in a prediction
Yeah.
is so commit to the answer. I'm flipping this hand too. We need to commit to something.
All
Um,
right, Ming
Denial.
as leader of
Wait, wait,
RE,
wait, wait.
you make the final decision here,
No,
Denial.
wait. Hold on.
and we will all
Franklin, what did
judge if you get it wrong.
you? Wait, Franklin, what did you vote Santu or denial?
Santu. So tier leaders are
Oh,
also
okay.
split.
Well, okay. Even the RUTLs are not agreeing. Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, see that's a testament to how like back and forth
Yeah.
this matchup is going to be. So put
There,
on a
there's
show
al
for
there's
us.
also
Santu, Denial, if you're hearing this, give us a show. Um,
I want to point out that there is another person in this call that hasn't shared their mind, so I tagged them and I'm waiting for a response.
Suki, it's
Yeah.
time to respond.
Okay.
oh yeah, Suki can be the tiebreaker. Okay, we'll come back to that then.
Tsuki said denial. Tsuki said
It's
denial.
Denial. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Santu, flip. We're flipping it. Um,
Enjoy your win for like 2 minutes, Santu.
boop.
What the hell?
Get denied. Okay, moving on. Oras. This is. I'm sorry.
This is
Has
the
Ye?
easiest Dugza of my life,
I
bro.
was
Like
gonna
Like, come
say
that as
on.
where
well.
where
I
where did
do know
Ye come from?
Ye to
What is
like OT in Auras, but like Dugza is like way above Yay
I mean,
here.
yeah, Dugza is cracked, bro. Like, I don't know what. Can I really say anything
I
else?
think
Dugza is
Dugza is
cracked.
like 5-1 this season. Let me check.
Yeah, but I'm really interested. So, who did the Crunchwraps have manning
Dugza
the Oras?
lost only to Feliburn.
The current rep had
Yeah,
Everard
Dugza
in
only
Oras.
lost to
Well, I'm sorry. I'm
Feliburn.
sorry. Who did the Crunchwraps have in Oras?
Everard.
Yeah, they just
Avarice.
Everard.
tried Helen
Oh,
between
right.
them.
Helm's on the bench. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Halon's
mean,
on the bench. Olive Branch is on the bench. So yeah,
I
it's
mean,
kind of
the
yeah.
Yay. If you're listening to this, listen. No, no disrespect to you, but this is one of the more established ORAS players of all time. So
Let
Well,
me say
yeah, if you're
something to
listening to
Ye.
this, much disrespect, I think Doug's is gonna crush you.
I'm just gonna say something to Ye. E aí, tu é brabo, tu consegue. Tu vence isso.
Right,
Also, we
totally.
had this
Right.
consensus last week where we had Massing versus Felburn in Auras, someone completely inexperienced in the tier versus like a very established name. And so it's really like the natural flow
Okay,
in the
but
yeah,
matchup.
I have something to say about that because Jay is actually not unfamiliar with auras. Because I think it was two RUPLs ago. It was in the tiebreaker in the final. It was Gaitanya actually versus who was it? Well, it was
Uh,
Expulso's team as well, and I was on that as well. Um,
I
I don't
remember
remember,
I
but someone
was
subbed
on
out and Jay subbed in actually, and they
on
played
the
a really good
sessions.
game, and they actually almost beat Gaitanya. So I don't think Jay is
Yeah.
a pushover at all in auras.
Oh, I
mm,
And I
know
know
that.
they're
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I know.
Guile
active
Yeah,
as
he's
well
a
is
in
great
Pro.
player.
really good.
I hope that's true because this is playoffs and this is like the peak entertainment in RUPL considerably, right? I really hope to see like an upset, not because I have something with Dags, of course, but just for the value of entertainment alone.
Yeah. No, and I teamed with Jay as well, and I know how much he wants to win this tournament. So definitely
Yeah,
don't count him out. I'm also favoring Duxa, but definitely don't count him out.
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, Doug's is winning, but deep inside, we all want Yay to win.
yeah.
Right.
All right. So that's ORAS. That's a yay. All right, Black White. Guile versus Ninja
Ah,
Dog. I
oh
mean,
God,
Ah,
oh God.
I've said this all season. If you asked me to negotiate a Black White game, I could not do it. It's a vibes based tier, in my opinion. Um,
I mean, I would say like Ninja Dog is better in game, but his teams are a little bit more predictable and straightforward. So yeah,
And on the other hand, Guile is like, my God, can we like, do you remember the Calmine Al Momola?
oh my
the
God, man.
I forgot about that. Oh my god, that was
Imagine
crazy,
like
man.
spending like an entire week. Let's say that Ninja Dog spends like almost an entire week to prep, and he ends up seeing like whatever the hell Guile decided to do when you woke up this morning.
Yeah, but I
Like
feel like
this
that's
is
the thing. I feel like
most.
I don't know.
Sorry, go on.
I just because I feel like Gal might just get lost in the builder, like trying too hard to prep because like it's semis and everything. And I think Ninja Dog will like kind of be ready for like whatever because it's
We've
like
seen that
no, you like
happen.
actually have to try.
Yeah,
Like you can't afford to lose.
I'm on Ninja Dog's side
Yeah,
in
I
this.
mean,
Yeah, I think Ninja Dog has it. He's just a
Like he just
better
has
player.
like plenty
okay.
of like experience in the tier two to just like I think not get like too like caught too off guard by like something off
Yeah, I
meta
mean,
or whatever.
I think for me
That's
personally
true.
too, just Ninja Dog has been one of the revelations in Black White for me this tour. He's had a great tour, right? I mean, he's just played very solid. I don't know.
And
I
he's
don't
been
really know
wrong
what else
before,
to say. In
by the
Black
way.
White too, which I feel like I don't know. Sometimes you have players who lean a little bit too much into like the Black White, the quote unquote Black White moments, and just sometimes have luck as like part of their game plan. And I don't know if I'd say Ninja Dog is one of those. He's been like just very consistent. I think all season. Um,
One thing I wanna note, like I've whenever I'm seeing Guile versus whoever is playing, like on a prediction format, right? I've pointed out versus Devin as well. It almost always seems to me like a builder versus a player type of matchup, and it's not like
Hmm.
Guile is a bad player, like by any means, right? But
Yeah.
whenever I see him play, he plays like very versus very like established players overall. So it's just hard to overlook the in-game factor of his opponents, right? I hope he brings something fun and actually solid, so that we have an actual game and he doesn't like shoot himself in the foot with the team choice. Because I really like it when tryhards like Guile just push through and get results.
yeah.
My bold is Guile personally.
Okay.
I respect your opinion, BluBird, but you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Oh
I'd put
no,
Ninja Dog too.
oh
Yeah.
no.
I'm on Ninja
Anyway,
Dog's side.
Frank,
Uh,
Ninja Dog, Guile.
oh
Ninja
god,
Dog.
the Brazilians matchup
No.
for last.
Okay. Cool. And that leaves us to the last slot in Durange Hustlers versus Crunchwraps. Beraldo versus Mincemeat. Really interesting matchup actually. Because they didn't play last week, but
I
well,
don't
okay,
think they.
Beraldo didn't play last week, but Mincemeat did. So Beraldo has a little more info on kind of what you might expect to come from Mincemeat. I don't.
One of the factors that you have to take into consideration here is that Mensmith like won/lost the SV game, right? So that's a 5% off of him, in my opinion.
Can someone fill me in real quick what Beraldo's record is again?
3-3.
3
It's
3.
what? 3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beraldo is 3-3.
Okay, so that's
Yes.
interesting too because that is important to
He
note
had the best.
context-wise. Beraldo started off 0-2, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we ignore that 0-2 start, he's been on a 3-1 run thus far. So meanwhile, Mincemeat, yeah, last week he won, but like moral victory, whatever. What is
I think.
Mincemeat's
No,
record?
I think Mons.
Mensmade is
I think
4
it's
3. So
4-3.
he's
Yeah, he
technically
Four
started 0-2.
he's
4-3.
technically 3 3. He's technically
Yeah.
3 3 as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In the heart of the community, he's 3-3.
I think Mans
So
also started 0-2, and like since then he's been 4-1.
He's had
So
a
it's like
he's had a
this,
hot
yeah.
start,
So it's like
That's
kind of
interesting.
just what Bervaldo did, but like with one more win, and also
right?
less luck.
Huh.
Personally, if I were to bowl someone, I want to bowl Beraldo. Not because
Me too.
I favor him over Mansmith too much, but I've seen him play more and prep more. I don't have that much information about Mansmith's tendencies in game or outside of the game, but I know Beraldo like pretty well, I want to say, and I'm genuinely like impressed.
Yeah,
He's a
I
good
think he
he's a
will
good
try. I
player.
think he will try and prep harder, and he's also more familiar
Yeah.
with the meta game.
Yeah.
So I would bolt Ronaldo as well.
yeah,
Mhm.
tragic, but I also am bolding Beraldo here.
It's a
I
dire
think
dream.
I
Yeah.
think Beraldo too. I think for me a lot, or just thinking about it, you have a little bit of like that championship difference, right? I mean, Beraldo is going for the two-peat now, which is within reach. They're in the playoff stretch now, so I think, especially as like the best of three slot, which we have heralded all season as like the most competitive slot. Some of the highlight games of
Yeah.
the season have come from this slot. I think Beraldo, this is like the time for him to get up and play. So I think, yeah, I think I'd go with Beraldo too.
Also, I'm less happy. Like, I'm really not happy to inform you all that this is a tie.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't care. I don't care if the
Well,
week
that's
is a
good. I
tie.
mean, there'll be
Do you want to
tiebreakers,
predict like
right?
tiebreak? Yeah, like
Oh, come on.
we
No,
can do that.
that's way too much speculation, though.
Thank you, Tsuki, for going with denial. I really
Hmm.
appreciate that now.
Yeah.
I may
Okay.
have
See?
skewed my results knowing that
Yeah,
it was
okay.
tied. Anyways,
But cool. I mean, that's Deranged Hustlers, Crunchwrap, Supreme Overlords. We looked at all of these matches. Like, I think we've given it like the proper attention. Does anyone
Yeah.
have anything else to say, like, just kind of offhand before we move on to Guardians Technicians?
Not much.
No.
Otherwise, I have to go. So I'll see you guys later.
I
Curious
hope
Okay,
to
no
you
hear
guys
problem.
win.
about
Bye,
the other
everyone.
predictions.
All right,
Bye,
bye,
everyone.
Frank. Thank you for
yeah,
coming.
See ya.
yeah, see ya.
All right,
My dude just skipped right before his own team's predictions. He's scared to know the truth.
Right.
all right. But with that being said, we are moving on to Technicians versus Guardians. So, all right. In general, I think these teams are.
Now that he's gone, how badly are technicians losing? Like, come on, dude.
I mean,
Can we not just?
Okay, jokes
I mean, I
aside,
don't know. Legitimately looking at this, I think the Noble Guardians, and I would say this probably across all the tiers. I think they have, well, not all the tiers. I'm sorry, across all the Scarlet Violet slots. I think they have just a stronger Scarlet Violet lineup, like through and through.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
and I like no shade on ZS, Ishtar, or PCD, but I think I would pick Umbri, Lily, and Frank Josh over all three of them. um,
I
guys,
mean, it's
guys,
hard not to, right?
I'm sorry, but This is a tie again. This is gonna be another tie.
I mean, perhaps, but we'll get there when we
No,
get
no,
No,
like
it
you
is.
should.
Yeah,
Let
I'm
me tell you,
seeing it.
bowl. I'm telling you, bowl the first four to Noble Guardians, the last four to Technicians. You're welcome.
there. Okay, well, I mean,
Like that's
let's walk
literally
through
what's
them,
gonna
right?
Okay.
I
happen.
mean, let's walk through them. So Umbri versus ZS. I mean, I don't really have too much else to say about this. Umbri is coming off a stupendous regular season, right? I mean, denied the perfect season, but 6-1 is still like unbelievable.
Yeah, 6-1
Um,
is insane.
Is that
like
the
I
best
don't. And
SV storyline?
ZS has had a great season,
It
right? Like
was.
again, let's not get it twisted, but Umbri has had a fantastic one, and I think coming into the playoffs, losing that last week definitely is a bit of a bummer, and it kills the momentum a little bit. But
All I'm gonna say, I was not an Umbri fan until she destroyed me. So I'm now an Umbri fan.
yeah, I mean, like
In the
who
same in
who
the same
earthquakes
sense.
who earthquakes Enamoris without like, I mean, Terror is still up in the air, like the game is on the line, like that's, I don't know,
Yeah,
that
that's
play still
crazy.
sticks in my head. That was crazy. So
Yeah,
In that
that's such a good play. Yeah.
in
I'm
that
I'm
sense,
giving it to Umbri.
are you now a Ming fan as well, Finn?
No, I'm not a Ming fan.
Why not?
Well,
I had worth a
technically, I
shot.
am a I am a Ming fan, but like that's not
not
based
not
on
for
the
not for the
RU
reason.
skill game.
Yeah,
Yeah, for other reasons.
Ming,
Yeah,
sorry, but I tried.
yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, Umbri versus ZS, I'd pick Umbri.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think anonymously too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then moving on, I mean, Lily Ishtar. I think Lily is. I don't remember what her record is off the top of my head.
Lily is the better player.
Yeah, but
Ishtar
just
is not
yeah, in
good.
terms of
Lily
like
is
the
1-0
consistency this
in
season.
SV.
I'm sorry,
She's
what up?
1-0 in SV. I mean,
Oh,
technically 2-0 in SV if you count like her being best of 3.
yeah. Okay. No, I definitely do that. I mean, again, I don't think Ishtar has had the strongest of seasons. I think Lily has been solid. And just kind of looking at the support
I
system for
mean,
SV, I think it's Lily.
I ain't gonna be the one, but I would be on Ishtar's side because she's like way more experienced with SV than Lily,
Doesn't
in my
matter, bro.
personal
Doesn't
opinion.
matter. Doesn't matter. I feel like
Is
Lily's just a
that
more consistent player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think I'm gonna go with Ishtar in this
Sure.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, BluBird, I mean, what do you think about this?
I'm also like, well, it's kind of split, right? It's obviously like a pretty tough game for both because I'm not sure how much Lily is enjoying his VRU, and I know that Istar came off a win, like a good win and convincing win as well, from a very like rough start, and I think that she would want to just keep the ball rolling. Uh, then again, Lily is, in my opinion, the better player, but again, I wanna bold Istar just because of
Okay,
the
I won't like say like I
enthusiasm.
won't say anything else because I'm
Hmm.
biased, but like Lily really enjoys SVRU because it's
Is
like a
that?
lot like yeah, she wanted to play SV. I think
That's
she's still
awesome
an
then, yeah.
open too. Like I think it's from I don't remember which round of open it is, but I'm pretty sure she's like still in.
It's round four.
I'm Yeah, I just the last thing I remember was she was in a bit of a frustration in UU. This is why I said I wasn't sure if it was just UU specifically or SV as a in general. If that's
Okay.
true,
Well, I mean, yeah,
then yeah, it's
Lily
really
has been very
convincing.
solid in Are You Open as well.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. It's tough. I'll bolt Lily, but it's a very like tight margin for me at least personally.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, think
uh
what you want to, BluBird. I mean, this is your opinion at the end of the
No, no,
day.
no, no.
So,
I'm not swayed by the other opinions. It's just that again, it's a case of a better player versus a more established mainer, if that makes sense.
okay. Okay. Sure.
That's how I view it at least. So I'll bolt Lily,
Sure.
and good luck to Istar too.
thanks.
And then again, Frank Josh versus PCD. I mean, PCD has done like pretty good for the technicians. I mean, he stepped up big last week. Same with Ishtar, but they both stepped up big last week.
Yeah,
Secured their
exactly.
playoff berth. But I don't know. I think Frank Josh has been like solid. Um, I don't
Uh,
remember what their record is off the top of my
It's
head.
4-3.
PCD is one
4-3.
three and Frank Josh is 4-3.
Yeah, so I just go with Frank Josh. I think.
Yeah,
Like as
I
someone who's
know.
also played versus
Also,
him, he I think his in game is pretty solid.
Yeah,
I
he's
would
a
pick it over PCD.
someone has to change Frank Josh's name on the sheet. It's still Ariana Grande
Hmm.
on the sheet.
Yeah, he went through
I
a name
was
Yeah,
change. This is Ariana Grande for those
yeah
of you who are
yeah
have not been keeping up
oh
with the various foregone.
this is a much better name change than Finico Dare or
oh my
Go.
god,
Oh my god.
I was
I mean,
gonna
we'll
say
get to the
out of
name changes.
Go.
We have another one coming up too, which is a little interesting. But we'll get to that soon. So I feel Frank Josh pretty comfortably actually too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Now that
I'm
I've
I'm
thought
just
about it.
also Frank
Kind
Josh
of agree.
too. Frank Josh is way more solid here.
I also don't. I'm not a big fan of the builds TCD brings, honestly. So
Yeah, PCG has like brought pretty similar teams in like 2 or 3 weeks in a row and like got losses on that.
Yeah.
facts. All right,
So
next up, SS Gaming.
attribute versus Quill. Now, Feen, I know you said you would bold attribute. I think I'd go with Quilly here actually. I really think I would.
Bro, you can
Um,
if you want to cope harder, you can, but it's attribute, bro.
no, listen, Quilly has had a very
No,
strong like kind of
no.
end of the season push, right? Like I think I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
attribute
BluBird,
I
is
mean,
Blue.
such a more
both
consistent
are
player.
same score, but I'm gonna go with Quilly as well because like uh when I was trying to scout attribute build, the scout was like uh pretty exploitable in a sense. Like they had
Sure.
100% throwback usage. Like I've never seen
Oh my God, yeah,
someone
100%
who
usage of
use
a mod
more
that can
throwback
rank
than
beat you, right?
attribute.
Okay, listen.
And I think it's not only for these two. They also use like a lot of Crobat on World Cup and like last UPL as well. So
BluBird,
like
what do you think about this whole situation? Attribute versus well, actually, another question before that: who won
Yeah,
in this matchup when they played the first time?
Attribute,
Attribute
attribute.
won. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, Ampa saying that attributes matchup is so exploitable. Attribute beat Dunox, so
I mean, Quilly also beat Dunox, right?
yeah, but that's irrelevant. I mean, I'm counter claiming Ampa's point.
Okay. But yeah, BluBird, what do you think? Resident Sword
Okay.
Shield expert.
Yeah. So
Quote
this is
unquote
like
expert.
yeah, quote unquote expert and like oh man, okay. Uh Quilliver's attribute is definitely like the best game of the two in SS, my opinion, in playoffs. I wanna favor like Quilly here. Attribute is obviously like a great player and he's established in the tier very well so far. But Quilly is like far from a slouch in it as well. And also I wanna point out that Quilly has support from the Franklin and that is like really paying off. You know, his things are really good. I'm really like a fan, and Attribute does have some tendencies that can be considered like exploitable. But he plays so well in game, it's tough to really make the most out of, let's say, a counter team or counter style type of thing, because
Hmm.
it's not like Attribute is a one trick pony, right? He does have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of stuff in this scout that are very like similar one to another. But last year, for example, I was like very upfront with okay, he's gonna use something fat versus me and whatnot in RU World Cup, and then he brought out the 8-0 and he beat me like 7 turns or something. Yeah, he's
Sounds a
not
lot like
someone.
skill issue, bro. Anyways,
Yeah, it is. Come on, it was a skill issue because my team was bad. But anyway, um, I will bold Quilly though. I will like die on that hill.
okay,
I really like Quilly's style and I really like his season. Like the turnaround he's been having, and I really like rate Franklin's support as like a
okay.
major factor in this.
All I can say is congrats, bro, on being wrong.
Thank you, man.
Okay. I mean, I think that's I didn't even really think about this too much, but like the Franklin support is I think definitely an underrated part too. I mean, Franklin
Yeah,
as the
he's
only
all
7-0 best of three player, and just someone who's generally been around the RU community for a long time. I mean, his knowledge about Sword and Shield is definitely something to benefit Quilly that may be punny in a similar position in the best of three, couldn't offer attributes. So, I don't know. I think that would. I
Also,
thought
one
Quilly was
one
taking this before, but yeah.
I have two small points to make as well. Is one that not to like discredit Quilly, like far from it, but last week in my game versus him, the Franklin support really came through,
Hmm.
and it was like a really good team, and he helped make it. And yeah, it really
Wait,
caught me off guard.
which tour? Which tour are you talking about?
No,
Start
you can tell,
UPL.
dude.
Wait, you played SS, Ampha?
Huh?
What?
No,
I'm playing
I'm
What?
He's
BluBird.
not. Whose team do you think
Oh,
BluBird is
that's
on?
BlueBird. Okay, never mind.
What?
I was never mind. I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
Oh my God, it's a jet
Man,
lag from the plane, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
Uh,
Ampha. Okay, never mind.
yeah.
anyway,
But
that's
no,
the
I
one
think I'd
point.
be. Also, wait.
That's the
Yeah,
one
go
point I
go go
wanted to
ahead.
make.
Finish the
Sorry,
thought.
sorry, Ming. And the second and the most interesting thing about this matchup, in my opinion personally, is that the reputation that both of these players had, like to most of the SS community in the RU tier, is that they were both feeding off of Puni teams, like for a good amount of time, right?
Hmm.
So that's like a really interesting class, of let's see who stays in their comfort zone because they're both piloting these teams very well, and it's gonna be a matter of really who trusts Puni more. If that makes sense. I doubt that Quilly doesn't bring a new team with Franklin around, but you never know, right? That's all.
True. I do want to give you the opportunity to because we've talked a lot about Quilly, but just the opportunity to maybe like give a little bit of like
Wait, hold on.
flowers to
Yeah,
attribute. Yeah, or
Okay,
things.
John,
yeah,
go
I
Yeah,
on.
was quiet.
Oh,
go
I
wait,
ahead.
will
are we
say,
waiting
I
for
think you said something about like Franklin support being better than Penny, and I think that's a bit unfair because I think Penny probably had the best um like SS out of anyone. Like he won like two RU Opens, and then he farmed a CL twice.
Yeah,
So I think I would like an SS. I would still like favor Penny support like in general.
100%. I
By the way,
agree.
this is not me discrediting Puni because he also knows I've told him that he's one of my favorite like players to watch. But I just don't know how much he's like hands-on with the SS lot for me to make like an more accurate description. And I know how Franklin functions more, so it's more of me being blind to Pony's influence as a whole, rather than me like going all the way on the Franklin train.
Yeah.
You know, that's fair.
Also, one more thing. Ampha, I know we were playing last week. I was thinking the week before.
Oh.
Anyways, he's calling me out because apparently I didn't know that we were playing last week. Um, but yeah, I still think Pani's influence and attributes, uh, consistency as a player is better than Quilly. But then again,
That's like 100% fair.
yeah,
Yeah,
SM.
sure. SM. Gandra versus ODR.
ODR for sure.
I don't know. ODR.
It's one of those matchups, right?
ODR has been like has played Samuel RU since it was current Chen and like he farmed off on I think one or two. It was still Snake back then, but ODR did pretty well in Snake and he has been playing SM since
I mean, he's
like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
So
See,
I
I do want to give a little more context into Gandra's season though, because I think Gandra has had like a pretty good season, right? I mean, I think he's positive. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's 42.
Gondra is 4-2 and ODR is 5-1.
Right. So I mean, Gandra like this has been a very strong SM pool. You have names like ODR, you have names like Denial, you have names like
Santo.
yeah, like Santu. These are all people who are like in the pool, and Gandra has held his own versus them. So I don't want to.
Yeah,
I would still pick
it's not
ODR here.
about like taking Gondras off, but I think just ODR is like one of the best players on
I
SM
mean, he's
Mario.
widely considered one of the strongest
Yeah,
SMs around, right?
Yeah.
I think this is like a pretty similar matchup to Santo versus Denial, right?
yeah.
I don't know if I'd say that actually. Who are Gandra's two losses versus?
Contractors were losses war versus Santo and Denial.
Did he play ODR?
No,
Uh,
I don't think
No,
so.
he
he
played
didn't.
he played BT that week.
ODR's only loss was versus Blunder.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he played BD Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, and won. So, but yeah, I think it's ODR. I don't think he's just that good in SM. So
I think that Gondra has like a really good in game. To be honest, like very strong in game, like very strong instinct, right? But ODR's display last week was Jesus Christ, right? He played really, really well versus how to do. Like he genuinely like I feel like he made no mistakes in game, which was like very impressive. But I'm a fan of Gondra's style in general. He likes. I haven't been paying too much attention to his season in SM, but I know from generally from like other tours like SPL and whatnot, he has a really like strong offensive style, and I really admire that. I wanna bold Gondra in this one.
I feel like you're just arguing with me just for the sake of it. But anyways,
I don't even pay attention to you.
Right.
You know what?
Hey Brian.
I'd vote ODR. Like Gondra has had a very strong season. Like I think if there's a time for an upset, I feel like this is the matchup that could do it. Like
True.
I felt pretty good about the picks thus far. I feel like I'd want to go with Gondra here, but I'm not going to do that because I'm a rational human, and I will go with experience and just like kind of equity, like you know prior accomplishments. So I would go with ODR too. But this is interesting. This is very interesting for me. I would not be surprised at all if we saw an upset here.
I
The more I talk about it, the more I actually do want to bolt Gondra. Actually,
oh my god.
I'm not going to do it though. Yeah, we'll stick with ODR. But yeah, interesting gaming.
Okay, Auras Gaming. What do we think?
I think it's Floss.
Um,
Like
it's
no shade on
floss.
UCL, but Floss has been very good.
It's floss.
He started
Yeah, it's
off
definitely flaws.
with the not so hot season in SB, and then he came into Oras, and he has been on a tear. Has he lost since he went into Oras slot?
I don't know. Let me check. Shall we? Uh, did
CL,
Shell actually play Norris?
bro, you are coping so hard. CL did not play Oras. This is first
He
time in Oras.
didn't. He didn't play
No, this is the week
Norris.
for. I'm like questioning about Floss. Like it has. I don't think Floss. At least I can't remember Floss losing since switched into the Oras slot, but that might be wrong.
Oh, are you talking about floss or
Yeah.
CL?
No,
I'm
I'm talking about
confused.
Floss. I don't think Floss has
Oh,
lost since
okay.
he was in Oras.
Um,
He's like what 2-2, 3-2, 2-3, something
he's
along
2
those
and 0
lines.
in Oras.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I,
Yeah. Sorry, I heard
Yeah, and
CL, so I was like, what are you talking
Flossie
about?
is like way. I don't know the word right now, but I think Floss Marsali here, so I'm gonna go with Floss here.
I mean,
okay.
I think
CL haven't played a single Oras in this tour or in
Yeah,
which
that,
is
RUGL. So
similar, which is kind of similar to Dags versus Yay, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Again,
but like
that's it.
at least Ye had like previous experiences.
okay, that's fair.
Did CL have any? I do not know.
All
I
right,
don't
listen.
think
I
so.
will say this. I will say this. This is not like a throwaway set anymore. This is semifinals of RUPL. So there's a reason CL is in the Oras slot. I don't think he's like
Yeah,
going to be
it's
a
called
pushover.
we don't know whom to
But
put, so we put CL.
well, I mean, listen. I feel like that's just being kind of disrespectful for the Noble Guardians. Like you don't get to the semifinals just throwing random people in slots that you have no confidence in.
Can I
Like
be
that,
honest? Like, that's kind of like the entire Guardians thing. That's like what we did last year. And
yeah.
this year too, we just like always figuring out slots.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. That's fine though. I feel like the main issue was they wanted to put Piyush in Oras, but they needed a black and white slot because I see Lily playing SV, so
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why
but it's the thing.
you couldn't
Like,
really put anyone in black and white. So you push Piyush down, and then you decide, okay, CL will do
I'll
Oras.
step up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
time to make a great joke. Is it time for Cielo to hand Floss his first loss?
Oh my God,
Ah,
man.
okay. I
Oh.
mean, hopefully,
Okay,
whoever
okay.
scored
Goodbye,
most.
guys. I think the stream is over.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I mean, Floss is just a reasonable pick. CL though, you got everything to prove. Yeah. Black White. This is another one of the renames. Piyush is no longer Piyush. He is simply PU
That
versus
is
E-Turn.
which is
very.
funny. Which is funny because they're playing Argue. So I'm
Right.
on a roll. I'm
Oh
on a
god,
roll.
oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. What do y'all think? PU versus E-Turn.
I'm a fan of
Mm.
Ethan. I know that he's a strong player, right? And a very Spanish player
Etern
as
is
well.
just more consistent in the tier.
I think Anthony is more consistent as well, and like I think let me check Piyush. Oh, Piyush is too old.
In black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Okay,
true.
so that changes things, but
He
I'm
was
kind of
last black white player.
neutral here because I do know this is a pretty even matchup, but I
No, I think
think
Etern is just more experienced in the tier, right?
and I don't know, so like I
Well,
can't really
there's
see
I
one
know
anything.
Pierre, I know
if there's
Pierre has
one
played it
player.
before, but I don't know like how he did. But I think he
Oh,
I
played it
all
for
in
RU
think
one.
World Cup.
All in one.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go neutral on this one, so you guys
Etern,
decide.
by the way, Etern is 0-1 in black and white. So technically, PU does have a stronger season, technically speaking.
Technically.
Uh, well, yeah, as much as you can trust records, right? But that's the case in general in predictions. Uh, it's hard to not bold any one player, but I think I'll go with PU here, personally.
Okay. Dean, I think you. Sorry, you're just gonna
Uh,
like
I, I'm a fan of Etern, so I'll
hat in the
always
U-turn
vote
camp.
Etern.
Okay. Ampub.
I'm neutral here, so skip me. I
Of
don't
course.
really know who
Like,
to vote
bro,
here.
just pick a name, man. Nobody's gonna
I
come
don't
up with
It,
a
know.
name.
That's a problem.
it'll be like up to Ming.
Yeah,
Okay.
up to me.
I mean, again, I've never been very good at negotiating black white, but I don't. I'll just go with record. We'll stick with record. I'll hold PU.
Okay, BO3 is definitely the highlight of the week
Yeah.
Wow,
for
I'm
sure.
sorry.
The question is, do you think he gets the 8-0, or do you think Punny spoils it? Like,
I think he's getting it. No, I mean, uh, as much as I would want Punny beating Franklin, I just think it's safer to bolt Franklin here.
I don't think I've ever like. Did they play in the regular season?
He did,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
If
yeah,
so,
they
but
how
did.
did
Franklin
Franklin
got
Franklin won.
SV.
Question. Yeah,
Yeah, Franklin won.
He lacked SV though. Like Penny would have won.
yeah.
Like
Was that
I'm
the
being
H? Was
salty
that the
about that.
HO week? Was that when he brought HO and Punny brought No, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
and
of.
then like he got like
oh
T-ball something, and then like a bunch of crits or
was it
whatever.
was
Hmm.
it Pony bringing the Hale team?
No, I
Was
mean
that
yeah,
the
that
week?
was that week. But a week in
Oh, and
SV, I
Sword
think he
Shield.
brought yeah he
Yeah.
brought like bulky DD mans with
Oh yeah,
freaking
Yes, yes,
huge crits.
that was the
the
HO
Ghost of
week. That
Fire.
was the
Yeah,
HO week. Yeah,
the
the
Ghost of
men's.
Firemans. Yeah, was like breaking swipe and temper flare.
Did
Did
that
you?
go
Yeah,
the
it was.
distance? Was that a full 3 game set?
It was. When you won
Hmm.
SM,
And was they
I
were like
think.
pretty close games, all of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in my opinion the two best players in the slot, just going at it, right?
I mean, like, if
Uh,
I'm being unbiased, I think I would just build Franklin. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
rooting
mean,
for
I'm gonna
Bunny,
bold.
but it's
I
like,
think I'm gonna go with Franklin. Yeah.
and it's like, I
I
think
I just
I'm
if
gonna be the
anyone could,
guy,
like,
but
beat
I
Franklin,
think I would vote Punny here.
um,
Punny has been pretty consistent in both SM and SS, and like frankly, is definitely on top as well. But I think Bunny is more consistent in SS and SM,
and one
while
thing that
Franklin is more consistent in SV.
one thing you have to take into consideration is that on one end, Franklin has like correct me if I'm wrong, but the strongest season of his career.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, like on an unbelievable streak. On the other hand, you cannot put aside Puni's ability to clutch wins in playoffs,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
cold
I mean,
blooded,
well,
right?
listen. I think that's actually a really. I don't think clutch factor is something you should bring up if you're talking about Punny versus Franklin. Let's not forget, Franklin is the guy who clutched 4 ties for his team for the
Yep.
first 4 weeks. They were down 3-4, and he did that 4 times in a row on command. So
Oh, is that?
you don't get much more clutch than that. Like that is like the definition of clutch time. I don't think we can really look at clutch and say
Oh
Punny's more
wow.
clutch than Franklin.
Then disregard me, right?
I think
I'm
it's just hard to argue against 7-0.
yeah,
Like, Bunny is
that's
like
the
2-2.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think that if it's fair for like I don't know if that's a like correct comparison, but whoever Umbri was playing versus, we would bold Umbri based on the killer like season, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fair for us to do the same with Franklin.
I agree.
yeah.
And that's exactly why I said, yeah, you should you should vote Franklin.
No matter
It just
Yeah,
what we
makes
predict,
sense.
though, this is definitely gonna be like one of the best series the tour has seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great
I'm
set
just
when they played in the regular season, and now stakes are
yeah,
higher.
exactly.
You're try harding a little more. Just, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger. Both series are gonna be
Yeah.
three,
And
three,
with
and
that
it's
said,
another tie, and it's another tie. Oh my
there's
god!
not a
Hell
tie.
yeah, let's go.
I,
Let's go.
I do
That's the
remember
goal.
when I did predict last year, like both series tied in the end.
Yeah, let's do both tiebreakers. That'd be so fun. I mean,
That
not
that
as
is that
prediction,
is
but in
funny.
general.
Actually, yeah. Wait. So I am new to this, so you will have to explain the tiebreak system to me a little bit. Let's say they both tie.
Basically, it's one
So three,
SV,
one slot is SV. Each
one
team picks
is
another
one of
slot.
the teams, and the other one is one the other team chooses.
Yeah, but like
Wait,
Exactly.
the
okay. Wait,
lower
wait, wait,
seed
wait.
picks
One
first.
out of one person.
Okay, so best of three. SV is the first slot. Each team picks the other slots.
Okay, so it can be anything.
And
It
Yeah,
could
but
be
once
like
you have
another
the slots,
SV,
you.
SM, or AS, Black White, best of
Yeah,
three.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
no,
don't
you
think
can
best
pick
of
best
three
of
is
three.
included.
Yeah, you
best of
can.
three
And also
is
the
Also,
lower seed picks first. So like
okay.
in Hustlers against Crunchaps it would be Crunchaps, and Guardians against Technicians would be Technicians.
Uh,
Okay.
I do think Hustlers pick Auras probably.
I
Hustlers are
No,
mean,
probably picking
I mean
Aura.
like who will pick first, like in the tiebreak between the teams.
Uh,
Oh,
the lower
apparently,
seed
It's
is
like the lower seed.
I
also
think the lower seed
I thought it was all simultaneous. Wow, I didn't know that.
no, it's the lower
You know,
seed.
it's Crunchaps lower seed in that matchup and Technicians lower seed in the other matchup.
yeah.
Also,
Ah, I see.
can
That's
they pick the
interesting.
same? Can they pick the same tier?
Yeah, yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And this is exactly why best of three is not allowed, because you'd have
Yeah,
two best of three slots, which is
yeah.
no.
It's just a slaughterhouse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Um,
think the Hustlers pick Auras, and the Crunch Rats probably
I
pick.
think we should we should only predict the lower seed ones because they're going 1st. I
Mhm.
think the higher seed
I
will
think
pick based on what's picked.
think that if there's like one slot that the Crunch Wraps are like the superior team in my opinion is SV. So I don't think it's
Yeah.
unlikely to just see two SV games and probably an Auras game from
Yeah,
SV.
Crunchwrap's probably picking another SD, is my guess.
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
it's
do
the
we really think
logical
so?
assumption, no?
I mean, the thing is just like Hustlers have the better SV, like even like better SV record in general in the tournament.
Hmm.
Mm.
But I mean, I guess like looking at like
No, I mean
the
I
I
mean,
Auras
I don't
understand.
think you
I
have
would agree
to.
with
I don't think
Falcon.
you
Like
should
if you,
type these. I don't think you should type these. This is more confusing.
I
We
mean,
can
I
just
think
speculate in the
okay.
video.
I think the thing is just like French traps. I don't think they have like a good tiebreaker pick against Hustlers. Like I think at best you could honestly just do like Oras and put Mance there.
if I'm
Yeah.
being, I'd pick Black White if I'm the Crunch Wraps and I'm picking into Hustlers. I'd do that. That'd be my pick
So
first thing.
honestly, like you don't want to do black and white
No,
tiebreaker
black
because I
and white
think
is a very hit or miss tier. You don't risk that.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like you can like get like locked super easily, and you just don't want to risk that usually.
I don't know if that's
But
like necessarily good enough reasoning to just turn that off on like a tie breaks. Because like I mean, yes,
If I'm
Black White
the
is
manager
like
of the
it's
Hustlers,
historically Black White has had like a lot of kind of hacks related to it, but I don't know. I feel like Ninja Dog has had a strong enough season, um, and we all kind of shared a similar sentiment with it that we kind of thought he would pull out a kind of convincing win versus Guile. Kind of that whole builder versus in-game conversation that BluBird brought up before, but I don't know. That's up to personal opinion. That would be what I did, at least.
honestly, I think Crunchwraps would pick SM.
SM, that makes sense too. I mean,
Yeah.
denial versus Santu. I mean, that's
I think
I
it
don't
also
know.
depends on like
Yeah.
how the series ends. You know, like it's like if denial wins, maybe, but it's like if denial loses, I don't think that happens.
Hmm.
Yeah, that depends on how Dinal does. It's either SV if Dinal loses or SM if Dinal wins. I'm pretty sure Men's will do one SV, Kushalas another one, or whatever, and then Denial. Those will be the best three players. If Denial loses, though, then it's a bit different. You could see Avarice or Fogbound coming in.
Hmm.
Like what do Hustlers pick?
Hustlers are picking Oras. Dugza is just incredible.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you pick Oras, you can just put Mance and Oras, and it's like I would honestly like bold Mance.
I mean, that's the advantage of having like a good
Well,
best of three
in
slot
that case,
regardless
you could
who.
also put Santu in Oras. So they have two good choices for Oras.
I mean, I think that's fair, yeah. But then it's like I don't know, because then it's like you can have. Also, like kind of
Also,
depends, because like if you do like Sentu in Oras, it means if like front traps pick SM, you have to put like Beraldo in it, I guess, which is like
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
which
which
is
is
like a
actually good.
downgrade.
also HCK is playing all of the tiers. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he's playing black and white, but
Yeah. Let's
I
not
know.
forget that HJK literally just won the like
Yeah, versus Typho. Yeah.
throwback cup thing. So
The classic, yeah.
yeah, Smogon RU Classic. So let's not sleep on that name either. Like if we're talking about specifically Oras SM or even SS, like would you take HJK over Fogland Lake? I think I would. I think I'd put him there. Yeah.
It is possible. It is also possible that men's will just do it.
Yeah, I mean best of three slot, of course. I mean Mens has been playing Oras or I'm sorry, not Oras, SM, Sword Shield, and Scarlet Violet this entire tour. So he's very comfortable with any of those. I don't know. I think probably one of the better like advantages the crunch traps have is kind of that flexibility then. Because looking at this now, I mean, I could really see HJK, I could see Mence, I could see even Kush really playing, you know, in 3 or 4 different tiers. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's an advantage that we should not overlook.
But I think
Mm.
Hustlers also kind of have that, you know, have like Sentu, you have Beraldo, you have like Thiago even. Then you also just have like a good SV2.
Hmm.
I think like Hustlers would win the tiebreaker. just like based off that.
Yeah,
I
so if we
think I
looked
want
at
to
the
agree here.
if you looked at the strongest three that the Hustlers could field versus the strongest three the Crunchwraps could field, would I pick the Hustlers?
I think it just, I think the thing for me is just like, no matter what Crunchwraps will pick, to always be like it won't be like a strong advantage, you know? You can
Okay.
like argue black and white, but even then it's like close, and I think like Hustlers do have like slightly like, I don't know, stronger slots that I think they can be like more confident in. Like you can even do like SS Baraldo if you want to.
Feel like we're just
Hmm.
speculating so much now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Such
I
as
just think
thinking
Hustlers will
about
win.
tie breaks when the week hasn't even fired yet. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, Noble Guardians,
I think
Gum.
we should possibly do a video with tiebreaks. See if it
Yeah,
happens.
May
we can about worry about doing that once you know we're a little bit
Yeah.
further into the week. But
By the
yeah,
way,
definitely on the table.
Mm.
Look at the predictions between Noble Guardians and Technicians.
Mm.
The strongest team of today versus the strongest team of all time.
Okay.
Sorry, of
Um,
history.
actually, Gum. So let's say if this actually comes to pass, it's a tie break situation. Um, what are the Guardians picking? In terms
Low
of like
key,
their tie break.
I want all of them to pick SV, which I
I
don't
think
think
we,
is the case.
I think we probably just pick double SV and
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then we just put in whatever they pick.
I
Okay.
think it's one of those cases that, you might know what I'm gonna do, but you can't do much about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Guardians should always go double SV because their SV is really strong. And Technicians probably will go either SM or S.
Yeah, that's
yeah. I think we
also
just
pretty
put Penny
fair.
in. We just put Penny in whatever else they pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
was gonna say Guardians have the pony weapon, and it's hard to deny that.
Well, Technicians have the Franklin weapon, who's so it's gonna be Franklin as an SV, and then probably Floss as well, and then ODR in SM. That's my guess.
This is some anime antagonist type of shit.
Honestly, I feel like if that happened, you'd just see Punny versus Franklin, and then another SV slot, whatever it is that the Guardians pick, and then whatever the technicians would pick for their tiebreak. Probably again SM or AS. I think I'd
Depends on the tier. Sorry, I mean, I was gonna say that depends on the tier. Like, if Franklin SVs and the Guardians say have to play SM or something, it could be a pony versus ODR type of matchups. So I don't think that they're always like intertwined in all the tiebreak scenarios.
okay. I see. No, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, that makes sense too. That makes sense. I don't know. This is definitely interesting to think about.
All right.
Okay,
But at the
I
end of
think
the day,
we
tie breaks are for another time.
Yeah.
We've kind
Right.
of
yeah.
concluded our overall predictions for the semifinals of RUPL, Hustlers, Crunchwraps, Guardians, Technicians, both a tie if we know ball. So yeah.
No ball.
Are there any other kind of like final comments from anybody just kind of regarding uh, the playoffs?
I don't think
Um,
so.
go Guardians.
Good luck to all teams. Let's have a clean season.
Another round
Grippy.
of RUPL.
That's a closing thought.
Grippy.
All right.
Crazy. All
Oh,
right.
oh, oh! One very important thing. On behalf of the person in this call that cannot talk, I want to say quack, just to keep the tradition going. And that's all for me.
Wait,
There you go.
hold on.
Ah,
Oh, Finn, you can do it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean I'm the server owner, so
Okay.
Give me
With that being
first. I
said,
wanna
I'd
do
like to
Among
thank
Us.
Ampha. With that being said, I'd like to thank all of the commentators who have joined me today. It's been like this has gone for like an hour and 40 plus at this point. I think it's like almost getting on 2 hours. Thank you for stopping by, casting with me. To all our YouTube viewers, thank you for stopping by. Whether you stayed for the entire thing or just a little bit, just have us playing on in the background. Thank you. Support is always appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and do all that like fun stuff and whatever. And yeah,
Don't
we'll be back
ever-
next week with either the tie breaks or finals, whatever ends up happening.
Excuse me, sir. Are you forgetting the RU Super Live Tour coverage?
Yeah, listen, I'm getting to that. Okay,
Okay.
we got to talk about our RUPL things first. But yeah, with regards to the RUPL coverage, at least, whether or not it's tie breaks, whether or not it's like another just regular prediction format, we'll be back with recaps. This weekend on June 8th, we will have a RU community tournament, the RU Super, the
It's
RU
June
Super
9th. You
Live
already got
Tour,
the date wrong.
June 9th, Sunday. Yeah, we'll be coming with the RU Super Live tournament. It's a money tournament. Donations are always welcome. If you would like to reach out to donate to the pool, you can just kind of send me a message on Discord or Smogon at the Sky12321 or Ming549 respectively. Yeah, it's a live tour, so signups will open like right before we start it, and yeah, that's about it. Metagame discussion. A lot of things have kind of changed within the month of May. We'll probably get that out at some point, either like later into this week or at the beginning of next week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, fellow casters, is there anything else I may have missed that y'all want to bring up before we shove off?
I
Just in
wanna.
the stream already.
Nah. You gotta say first that you guys have to like and subscribe because Ming just does not say it very
I
I
often.
said
think
that.
he did. I think he did.
Yeah,
And
I said that.
also hit that notification bell.
Nice.
Yeah, hit the
Yeah.
notification bell. All right, cool.
That's all. Stay creepy.
Yeah, if that's it, peace.